It's cold out. Single digits. But blue skies, beautiful sunrise. I can't really show it to you, but it'll mess up the lighting. But, the best decision I made recently, and I would say recently is in the last couple of years, and I apologize, getting a little sick here, but getting over it really. Social media, man. Screen time. Social media, boy, I want to tell you, that right there, that'll ruin your life. Social media will absolutely decay who you are as a person. People don't even realize. They use it and they think, well, we look at it all day, right? How can it be bad for us? What can it do? Bro, it'll destroy your life. Access to all those people that you shouldn't have access to. Access to things that if you're not living right, it's not going to help you in any way, man. I mean, it'll destroy your life. For me, man, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, too much access, right? Snapchat, I look at it this way. Why do I need to have a private conversation? Why do I need to have a conversation that disappears? I mean, I understand in person, if you're voice to voice, right? It disappears when you leave or walk away, right? In that moment. But why do I need to have something to delete something? All that does is it honestly just promotes, secrets. It promotes infidelity, right? Facebook was the same way. Facebook for me, though, way too much conversation with people. Man, I'll talk reckless on there, And sometimes I can get out of pocket. Hey, it gets the best of us. But I grew up in a certain culture. I start talking reckless. Why? For what? I'm not a keyboard warrior, so in person I would say the same stuff. But you look dumb, you look uneducated, right? People in your business, you start putting your business out there, like nobody needs to know what you're doing every step of your day. They don't. Bro, your life is your life. Nobody really cares about you. You're not like that important. I know it feels that way. I know that the internet makes you feel as though you're so important, right? And you add in screen time. How many times do you pull your phone up because you're just sitting there and you pull it up and start scrolling? You start swiping. You do whatever, right? You swiping on Tinder, you swiping on, one of these other dating apps, or you're just scrolling through a timeline. What are you sitting there for? 3 minutes? You're telling me for 3 minutes you couldn't just hang out with your own thoughts? We're not meant to. You hang out with your own thoughts, you start becoming a better person. You start looking at what you should be doing. You start collecting your thoughts better. But if you're opening up your phone and you always looking at what everybody else is doing, you ain't got time for yourself. You ain't got time to take care of yourself. You ain't got time to collect your thoughts and actually say, shit, okay, yeah, that's what I need to be doing. It is what it is, man, but that's real life, right? And dating apps, man. I always talk about mental health sometimes, and I don't talk enough about it. I feel like I don't go as in-depth as I probably should. Every mistake I've ever made is my own mistake. And recently, I've noticed some wild stuff, man. I used to remember this person, man. They would talk about infidelity and how it's, it's this and that, yada, yada, yada. And I never even looked at myself as I was doing that. Honestly, I didn't. In my mind, I just used a different description for it. Not realizing that I was being a wretched ass person, right? And social media helped with that. Too much access. In person, I would probably still talk to them. But now you gave me another avenue because I'm already that confident in talking to you in person. Now you give me something I can type in and I can make it even easier. Bro, that spells on disaster. That right there will get you in trouble. And you start adding in the idea of, well, my screen time added in with what I'm doing on social media, and look at how your life is. Shit, I could be doing better. Could be doing a hobby. Could be learning something. You think about it, you get in the middle of, let's say, I'm going to go to shoot guns at the range at my house, right? I have everything set up, and you start getting into like a little bit of a swipe mood. You start scrolling. All of a sudden now, you 10, 15, 30 minutes deep, you may not even be in the same mindset. And now you're not taking care of what you're supposed to do. You're not doing the hobby that you wanted to do. You're not learning to be better at something. For me, shooting guns or learning an instrument or training, it's important, right? You start falling behind. And going back to the infidelity thing, it's wild to me, man. I've seen some married people recently who I consider to be, higher regard. I had higher regard for them. Let me just say that. Higher regard. I knew their kid. And, they were, these people were important to me. And I saw some things recently that just blew my mind. And it makes you think, look how easy it is. What if you didn't put that screen time in? What if you didn't have your phone on you? Would you still be participating in those? Would you? I doubt it, man, because you'd be out living your life. It's just a shame, you know? Like, we see the degradation of contact. We see the degradation of relationships and friendships. People think if you live 35 minutes away from each other, how are you going to be friends? Bro, that's 35 minutes. If you lived in, like, the Midwest or wherever, right? The flyover states, you may have a friend that's 30 minutes away. Bro, that's just life. It is what it is. Like, it's not that big of a deal to drive 30 minutes to see your people. Who cares? But in social media, we can't contact them right now, and we can't drive to see them right now. We're not going to be friends with them. Dude, it just destroys everything about you. It destroys your life. You know, I know recently I had seen some podcasts or whatever, and they were talking about the screen time and competitions to decrease and whatnot. And it was just very interesting because I really had to evaluate myself too, and every so often I try to. And, you know, with therapy, I was able to understand that the dating apps were a way to kind of assess your personality and assess how you were doing with therapy, right? If you get on there and you're not on there to date and you're not on there to meet up with these people and you were just gauging conversation and what you can feel is and what's overwhelming you, I think that's a great thing to use it as. Think about this. You know, you get on there and after 3 days you feel overwhelmed. Well, you're not ready for conversations. You're not ready for friendships or relationships outside of what you have right now because you're still rebuilding yourself. You're still working on yourself, right? That's important to understand. That recognition of, well, my thoughts aren't collected enough. I don't have enough confidence. I don't have enough well-being inside for me to make the right choices, so you're not going to. So you know to delete it. That's self-realization. That takes a long time to build. Once you have it, it is an amazing tool. Self-realization that, hey, you know what? Damn, yeah, I don't need to be doing that. Okay, cool. Yeah, because you're not meeting up with nobody. Don't use things as a way just to get off. Don't use things as a way just to increase your sexual prowess. Nah, man. Use it as a way to gauge, and I'll tell you what, it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot to realize, like, I'm glad I don't have my social media. I'm glad I don't have any of those other things. You know, every so often, you get on one of them, you just give it a couple days, okay, yeah, nope, not ready, cool. Keep going through life, what you're doing the right thing. You're evaluating yourself. You're not falling into that hole of what everybody else is doing. You're going to find what's yours in life. You're going to become a better person. You're going to become who you want to be, and you're going to be successful. It just takes a little bit of time. But I promise you that your screen time and social media are related and are related to why your life is decreasing, why you feel horrible, why you're depressed, and why you can't collect your thoughts. Just work on it, man. That's all. And if you see people around you doing bad, you know, like me, man, seeing people with that infidelity in marriages that I thought were great. Bro, some of them are what I use as a way to compare. Again, don't compare yourself. Don't compare with other people, man. Other people can fail. Just be yourself. Keep working on it, man. Keep steady pressure every day, man. Steady pressure, stacking the right behaviors. And just get after it, man.